Nick Robertson is in Moscow for us today. And Nick, where you are today, a crucial place to be. A short time ago, Russian riot police ordered anti-war protesters, who I understand did brave things, to come out there near you to disperse. Tell me what you're seeing and how much resistance is there to President Putin?
Yeah, Aaron, I'm literally going to step out of the way of the camera right now because you can see 3 people here just being arrested. There isn't so much of a central protest here. These are some ladies here that are in this central area of Moscow. While we've been here for the past 45 minutes, there's another person being dragged out of the subway here by his face, being dragged by the police, being arrested, thrust up against the vehicle.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and thank God for decent people across the globe. In Russia, a land dominated by a pitiful, petty dictator with delusions of world domination, its citizens are taking to the street in protest across the country. Despite Putin's state-controlled Russian propaganda machine, intelligent people can identify a sham when they hear one. Good people can recognize crimes against humanity when they see it, and they cannot be indoctrinated into some sort of Stockholm syndrome of their imperialist dictator because they're better people than that. And that's what's happening in Russia right now. People are protesting against this siege into Ukraine. This isn't the Dark Ages. Napoleons are supposed to be retired to history. Haven't there been lessons learned by the bloody pages of history? This is the 21st century, but it sure doesn't look like it. But these protests offer great hope, because that's the distinction that we hope to see in our modern era. We hope to see an era when the king has no power, but the people have the power. People don't start wars, governments start wars, and authoritarian regimes start wars themselves because they never have the support of the people. An authoritarian government is good for nobody but the autocrats themselves. So this is who we put our trust in to lead us out of this age of war: the people, everyday citizens whose focus is their daily lives, making livings, securing food, shelter, and water for their families, and extending that to their neighbors, their friends, their community. They don't focus on whose land they should conquer to steal their resources, whose population they have turned hatred against with propaganda. Those concepts come from a twisted, convoluted mind of someone who's lived off the backs of real working, decent people and exploiting them, thinking how I can keep this con going. And this is what will be the downfall of Russia, because a country is ultimately its people, and all evil regimes ultimately fall in citizen revolt against the oppression and the horror. Putin's net worth is in excess of a couple $100 billion. And while a few big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg can put up his front to the world of rich modern cities, the rest of Russia lives in utter squalor. People go hungry across the nation. Living conditions are horrific. How do you define the success of a country? By its leaders' wealth or by the lives of the people? Because Russia is an abomination for its people. And this war is going to make that even worse. I hope we take more lessons from history and really take these patterns to mind and to heart, because there is plenty to learn from recent history. And I'm talking about January 6, 2021. We almost threw our democracy away. The democracy that protects our people, ensures our voice, which ensures our living conditions, our respect, our decency, and almost gave it away to a wannabe dictator. And there was a segment of our population that gleefully would have done that. A portion of our own Senate voted to eliminate democracy that very night after the failed coup. None of these people should be in office ever again. What does it take to understand that the simple fundamental principle of democracy should always be the prerequisite for government? And that supersedes all. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.